Oh, did I show anyone this screen? I have a feeling I didn't. Yeah, this did happen, I think, by last episode, but I never actually showcased this. They made some like variants for like the Mark II lander can, and I might use it because I think it's personally really cool that we now have a rover cockpit, but that's not what we're here to do. Hello, it's Striker Joe, and we are probably ignoring most of our contracts to do this, but I want to go to Eve and perform an Eve mission. Of course, as we know, Eve missions are very difficult, and I'm going to have to engineer something specifically to get there. If we check this, I'm not sure, atmosphere present, it's 90,000 meter atmosphere. And with the pressure of 5 atmospheres, with basically gravity almost twice. So actually, according to that, I should do fine with less parachutes. That's kind of what I wanted to know. So I'm going to make a 2-phase mission. Also, I'm going to avoid the flashing as much as possible. I want something that can go in orbit around this and dip down, scoop and grab the atmosphere sample, and then send a sample back. And the purpose isn't to survey this because there's no point in surveying Eve. Because, I mean, maybe if I wanted a manned mission there, but the issue is if I do a manned mission to Eve, then how am I supposed to get back up? Like, there's no safe way to get fuel, and like, so I would have to rely on Gilly for actually extracting resources. Maybe I can come up with an SSTO for Eve, but I'm not willing to bet on it. Either way, so that's phase 1 is just getting in orbit. And phase 2 is, which I'm probably going to perform as we're getting, like, doing the dip, is I'm going to release a drone, and a probe, and that probe is probably going to have retrograde SRBs to slow it down. And it's going to touch down on the surface, either in the water or on land. I'll probably aim for land just because that's more realistic of a place for it to be. Because we don't know what kind of corrosive stuff is in the water. Either way, I have to design this. So, see you in the VAB. I have to leave in order to get a mission critical part. It's going to be super obvious, and I won't know if I actually get what I need. I need precision propulsion. Okay, looking at this, I think I might have gone a little overboard because I have almost enough delta V to get into orbit just from this stage alone. This is going to be interesting. Anyway, I think this is complete. It looks right, and according to the delta V readouts, I'm going to have a reasonable amount. This stage is going to have less delta V than this stage is going to have, which isn't very reasonable, but I'm going to need more fuel than that. So I'm going to actually just duplicate this, make it twice as tall. That should be good enough. And I should probably line this up so that's actually accurate. And have it stop flipping on me. Okay, looks like a lovely day for a launch. We should just go for it. Time to launch. SAS on. Get ready. Launch. Oh. That was anticlimactic. Launch. Let's see here. I'm actually backwards. Okay, enable SAS. I need to fix my staging because that's not good. And here we go. 3, 2, 1. And so these thrusters are going to get us off the ground. I'm surprised we aren't off balance or anything. Anyway, I'm going to lock to this. I'm going to take a shallow ascent because we don't actually need to get into orbit. We just need to leave the influence of Kerbin. And so that's probably what I'm going for. But yeah, anyway, we are running out of delta V very quickly. But we're not gaining speed too fast. So while this is going on, and this is in one ear, let's focus this. We want Eve as our target, so we're just going to do that. Anyway, yeah, this is actually doing pretty well, but we are launching a pretty small payload. We're going to let this slow down. How high are we? Backspace. I need to know. How high up did we get? 94K? That's good. We can quick save here. Now that we're past 45, we can do this. Also, those SRBs did not activate, which means I must have messed up staging at some point. I have very screwed up staging. This isn't actually that great. Also, I should be free to just get rid of this. We don't need that cover anymore. And I don't want to press backspace because what's going to happen when I press backspace... No, I can. Let's get our antennae up and solar panels. I'm also probably going to ignore the fuel cells for a while because we don't need fuel cells at the moment. We're just going at max speed and trying to get our delta V up as much as possible. I should have just started this immediately, I'm realizing now. But it appears we are actually gaining speed. So yeah. And we'll have just enough to get into an orbit from here, so that's good. That's nice anyway. I should have paid attention to our thrust to weight ratio being very bad. A lot of these stages have a low thrust to weight ratio. This one actually has a low thrust to weight ratio. But that should be fine. We're going to take it off of its usual setting and let us get kind of above. I should probably use precise mode if I'm going to do things like this. Time to start burning. Now we have a low thrust to weight ratio, so it's going to take a while. But we have actually over 5 minutes of just constant thrusting. I have severely over-engineered this because by the time we shed all this weight, we have like 400 meters a second. Which means that I'm going to be throwing away this booster core very early. That's not ideal. But yeah, maybe I can actually use something like this to get my craft into a high orbit, maybe? I don't know, but at this stage, we should just keep going. And as time goes on, the thrust to weight ratio is going to get a little better. Then we have this, which has a much higher thrust to weight ratio. Then we have this, which has a very high thrust to weight ratio. Burn of 5 seconds. No burn here. That's because I'm using it. But I'm using SRBs there, so the idea is that when I detach, the SRBs will cause its orbit to decay faster. And I can just switch over to that by the time we land. We don't need to keep going. I wasn't paying attention. Anyway, it doesn't actually matter, right? No, it did matter. Jeez. It actually mattered a great deal. I'm going to do this. And try once more. Okay, there we go. Or, you know, like 20. It should have been closer to 25, but I don't need to be super precise here. Since we're in the dead of space anyway, so I'm glad they fixed that. And it's good to know that I have enough time. Might be useful to have it just either have this in seconds or have this, or have like another readout that just shows the time next to it, just so that you can quickly compare. But I'm not complaining, this is actually good enough. Like, this works, and it shows me how much time I have to burn with anyway. So yeah, anyway, my thrust to weight ratio is going up again. I don't know how I got heavier. Like, it was like 4 point something at one point, but now it's 0.39. Oh, is it because we are closer to the sun? Is it going to go down the closer I am to a gravity well? I don't think so. But that said, no, this isn't thrust to mass, this is thrust to weight. So if I am like somewhere closer to a body of mass that can reduce my increase my weight, then I suppose it could actually turn out that way. That's actually kind of interesting. Now I can do some subtle adjustments until I'm close. In fact, I'm going to get it a lot closer. I want the periapsis to be closer to... How about 100 meters? Well, no. I'm going to give myself 200 meters for extra space. Because I don't think that my vessel would... Okay, that's actually the best I can do. Fine. Okay. I'm okay with this number. Anyway, we've managed to keep up a downlink for quite some time. And it's actually a very strong connection too, which is good. Now where is it coming from? Ugh, that angle's not exactly that great. Okay. We should be able to perform a maneuver here. And if I check, where's the Soul Outpost? It's over here, so worst case scenario, we could beam to the Soul Outpost and back, and that would probably give us the angle we needed. So I shouldn't have to worry about that then. We'll see, I'm going to quick save, just in case. Nope. But we still have minor controls anyway, so that's not going to be a big deal. We just need to capture. I'm going to spend all of my Delta V, with the exception of a small amount. I'm going to save about 200 meters a second, because I think, how about 400? Yeah, I'm going to save 400 meters a second here. Okay, so I can quick save this. And let's decouple. And why is this not working? Oh, because I can't perform very extreme maneuvers here. So I'm going to have to wait till I get around to the other side where I can perform precise maneuvers again. There we go. This should be going straight from KSC, it seems. So the question is, should I worry about the booster or use a probe? I think I'm just going to have the probe here, and we will finish that mission after I take care of the booster. Could have done this with a lot less, so just want to go retrograde, and we kind of want to collapse our orbit. I could have actually let this thing operate for a bit longer. How much thruster weight? Yeah, thruster weight's suddenly like really high. Anyway, we only have like 20 seconds, so we're just going to keep going. Yep. I expect to crash. But I want to get rid of the space junk. Here we go. Now it's just down to the Eve Traveler. Now we have a reasonable amount of Delta V. It's not amazing though. We only have 26 seconds of burn time, but we should be able to perform a mission. So we're going to probably warp here, and we're going to dip down into the atmosphere. Well, no, we're going to go exactly 100 meters. And we finally disposed of our core. That's good. So we want this to be something like 100 meters. So that's what we're going for. And hopefully that doesn't use up too much for fuel. And there we go. 16 seconds out of 26, so it'll probably take another 10 or something seconds. Also, we want to be a little ahead of this. Okay, I've been making tons and tons of mistakes, so pardon this, but I am actually going to raise this here. And I overshot this. It'll let me turn it off anyway. Okay, that's good. We don't need lights either. Those are just a waste of charge. So, let's do all of this and keep experiment. And we want to transmit this. Oh. We need to keep all of these experiments, and we need to hope that none of our equipment burns off, because that would be bad. So yeah, we're going to be performing a series of these assists as well, so that's not great. So it's going to be slow. We're going to repeat that whole ordeal. Okay, we re-established a link up. We should be free to send this and try to descend deeper into the atmosphere, but it's potentially damaging if we do this, so let's start transmitting science now. We won't be able to get back with the little fuel we have. Also, that is amusing that it's using this antenna to send the information back. Should be able to just do 2 of these. In fact, should be able to just have this one transmit all. That should actually be everything. We had enough electric charge to transmit everything. That's good. Okay. So now that we have all of the science, we're going to perform a quick retrograde maneuver. And we're going to dip a little deeper into the atmosphere. That way we can bring this down a bit more. Because we've just done all of this science. And that's basically all I want to do. Now, what I'm afraid is going to happen is that we're going to burn off some science modules, which is why I spent time transmitting data. Because, like, I skimmed the atmosphere and got all of the samples I needed. Gotta take those and retract them, otherwise we could lose them. But yeah, this should heat up very quickly. This nose cone isn't ablative, so it's not going to be able to handle itself. And these are exposed components, so like because of where they're placed, they're going to burn up. Yep. 3 of my science components blew up. I should expect a little bit of heating on the SRBs back here, but hopefully nothing bad. Oh, I just realized. Oh, that's... Stay prograde. That's not good. That is honestly terrifying. I just realized how close we were to losing the thing that was keeping our probe core attached. If we lost that, that would have been mission breaking. Jeez. So we're going to want to be a little bit less reckless with how we perform this maneuver, it seems. So we want to be ever so slightly higher up in the air. You should be excited because I'm going to be attempting to sacrifice this probe in order to land my other probe. And I'm going to have to be very quick. So we're just going to go straight. We're going to dive straight into their atmosphere. And then we're going to separate this out. We're probably going to separate this out. And like the moment things start to get really heated, I'm going to let this take the brunt of the heat. So there's going to be a lot of damage. So I'm just going to time accelerate because I'm going to be foolish and risk it all. Actually, is there any way I could possibly... I guess not. Can I jettison this? No, I can't jettison the fuel. I can't jettison my fuel to make it easier to slow me down. Oh well. But yeah, things are really heating up. I am going to opt to leave everything out because it's going to give me a chance to spin. And spinning probably would help. We're just going to do that. Looks like parts are breaking off anyway. The moment we lose this nose cone though, is going to be the moment. Oh geez. I had to close my eyes. Okay. We need to stop spinning because that's throwing us off course. We have one layer of protection left. Exactly one. I'm going to wait until this is almost about to go. 5. Come on. I want to keep our landing gear. Now. Want to stay retrograde. We lost one landing gear. We're probably going to lose both of our landing gear, but hopefully waiting is going to help preserve this. We don't want to lose this sensor. And of course these fins are delicate, but they're literally just there in case. Also, this looks a little bit like it's going to have problems. Also, the solar panels are still here. So that's good. We're going to lose another landing gear. Okay, what else is ready to go off? This light? Going to keep the lights off. We're actually slowing down enough. We should actually be able to preserve our probe at this stage. So yeah, we had to perform a really great sacrifice, but it seems to have saved the probe. Yep. Okay, I'm happy. So the entire probe is intact. We'll turn our landing lights on. And are we going to make it? I have a feeling we're going to land in the water. I'm going to try maybe directing it a bit, but I don't think I can because I don't have the antenna. But I can do this. And even if my velocity doesn't change, I can still dogleg a little. And that's probably what I'm going to do, is just tell it to dogleg and hope. Might want to extend these solar panels as well, because we've actually made it. And we're going to take an atmosphere sample closer to the surface, and we're probably going to immediately transmit this science. And we'll have enough power to handle this. And of course, we have fuel cells on board and a fuel tank. So should we arrive at the middle of the night, we can actually do that. Also, look how close we were to the shore there. We could have totally doglegged over there, but I failed to let that happen. So yeah. Anyway, so we're just going to grab all of our experiments now. Log gravity data, can't do either of those. Log temperature, transmit that. Let's see here, what is that? I don't know if that's really hot or really cold. I need to check. Display, yeah, that's going to be high pressure, I think. I'm pretty certain. That should be everything. Okay. Those lights are going to be useful to me. Now, yeah, so I did manage to land it. I have to use the SAS here because otherwise it is going to sink. And I won't have easy access to see all of my stuff. I was hoping to land on the land, but I should have taken into account that Eve is mostly water. So yeah, thankfully all of the important bits are actually above the liquid. We should be able to gather tons of science. We can't do seismic scan, and I think the reason is because we're not actually on solid ground. But yeah, so we can get some pressure data as well. Let's do that. And we should do this as well. We should actually start these fuel cells because we're going to need them in order to recharge fast enough to do this next transmission. But yeah, it should take a very long time to run through our fuel supplies though. Like, we have a reasonable amount of time in the tank, and these fuel cells are going to help me do the atmosphere analysis. I can't do the atmosphere analysis because the atmosphere analyzer is actually in the water. That's a shame. But we can transmit this. That's actually a great shame. I was hoping to still be able to do this, but maybe I have to just be... Nope. Nope. And I toppled. Yeah, so this is successful, mildly. It's about as successful as the great majority of things. I did manage to get it to land safely, but I don't think I'm going to be able to get any new science from this. Unfortunately, I was hoping to get the really good sciences, and it didn't work out. Turns out you actually have to be moving through the air in order for this to work. Or at least it has to be held above sea level by a great degree. There might just be one last thing before we go, and that very well could be this. We still have a network around Duna that we need to correct, right? But you should actually be in a position that will not provide any black spots. And we can use that to keep our network up. There we go. Even though it's not perfect by any means, I mean, like, this network, if I were to show this network, it's lopsided, but so it's certainly not perfect, but despite this lopsidedness, I should have full coverage for everything. And that was just me forgetting momentarily that I had this. I might eventually choose to adjust this to get it into the right orbit, but for now, I'm not going to worry about it. But yeah, so we did quite a few things. I don't think I can actually do that. So yeah, we have not landed a probe on land and performed all of the science experiments. So in the next episode, since I'm actually disappointed with the outcome of this one, I am going to redesign my probes and get them so that I can easily and efficiently perform these maneuvers. Anyway, with that out of the way, I'm going to see you next time. We'll likely be trying again. See you next time.